Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Skulk. Hopefully this is the end of Winds of Change. I only say that just because it's going on for episode 61, and that's only because I made last episode 2x as long. 2x is 2 times if you were into texting. Okay, shall we continue? Fortain pants heavily, panicking with an arrow in his side. He knew that if he pulled it out, things would only get worse. It would be best to keep it inside, until he could find some help. It wouldn't be fatal, so that gave him great relief on its own. Hiding in a spare room he found, he needed to take a breather. It was perfect timing, as suits started to scurry around outside.
It can't be too far away. How high up does this castle even go?
Very high, Ben. Very high. He shakes his head, realizing there was only one way to find out. But as he goes to sneak out of the room, he bumps into a table. A bottle of wine falls off the side and shatters with an echo. His entire body tenses up as he hears an honor guard stop moving. He runs to the other side of the room and hides behind a curtain. It wouldn't have been easy to sneak around them, if not for the wine. Now, every single suit of armor in that hallway would know he's here. He remains as still as possible as one of them enters the room to scout. The suit kneels down to inspect the broken glass, then looks over to the curtain. His cover was blown. He made a small trail of wine with his footsteps. He holds his breath as the suit of armor makes its way to his location. Then, a few moments later, it plunges its sword right in the curtain. Fortain dodges to the left and rips the curtain down off from the wall, wrapping it around the suit of armor as he has it in a strong chokehold. Yeah, and you pop the head off. Yeah, gotcha! Chokehold! Oh, okay. He hesitates for a few moments, and then he snaps his enemy's neck. Wait, what? It's a suit of armor. Okay. The suit crumbles, but has nowhere to fall, being held together by the curtain. He slowly rests it to the ground. This is his first real fight. His first kill. If he survived to ring that bell, he knew he would never be the same. He slowly unravels the curtain and grabs the sword belonging to the suit. As soon as he does, more of them enter the room to check up on their ally. Fortain wondered if they felt emotion, if they'd mourned for the suit he killed. They drew their swords, but Fortain wasn't sure what prompted it. Anger at the dead ally, or perhaps blind loyalty to the triumvirate? He'd never know, and at that moment, he realized it was for the best. Swords clashed against sword as he fought for his life. But not just his. Almost everybody else's lives were at stake too. They were relying on him to ring that bell, and he couldn't let them down. All he had to do was survive. When we get inside the castle, I notice that it's completely empty. Pearl must have been successful. Otherwise, this place would be full. I'm thankful, but unable to find happiness. Not after losing Valessa. Sure, I didn't see her final moments, but she was dead. There's no way someone could have survived an attack like that. My friend. One of my first friends. I'm in complete disbelief.
Hey, snap out of it. We need you in good shape. I know what you saw out there, but she could still be alive. If we just stand here moping, then we might as well surrender.
I understand. I shake my head. He was wrong, and I knew it. Valessa was dead, and I had to learn to accept that. I start to walk around the stairs, wanting nothing but revenge.
Hey, not so fast. You should let me take point. I know the layout of this castle and where to go. It gets a bit confusing up there. Trust me on that.
Confusing? How so?
Lots of stairs. I hope you're okay with that. And be careful. We don't want to fall into a trap. This place is massive. It would be easy to ambush us.
Not a second later, someone enters the room from the opposite side. It's that man from our headquarters. The one with Sovi, clad in white and gold. He descends the stairs, laughing at us. A horde of suits follow.
Ambush? No, I don't play cheap, not like Sovi. I'd merely like to call this a welcoming party of sorts. An ambush is unexpected. Surely you knew I'd be here.
I did, but probably he did. I unsheath my blade and hold it out towards our enemy. There is no time to argue semantics with the likes of him. But, as if to guard me, Ulrich and Sovi stepped forward, getting in the way.
Halen, don't you think it's time you gave up? You've been bound to their will, following orders for so long. Let us remove that curse. We can give you your freedom back.
Clearly an act. Sovi wanted Halen dead. That, and he could never agree. He was under their thrall. A moment later, Halen disappears into the crowd of suits. Move out of the way.
Freedom? Huh. I don't need freedom. I exist to serve the Triumvirate, and that is final. You did too, but you threw it away in your folly.
The suits of armor reach the bottom of the stairs. But Halen is nowhere to be seen. We just hear his voice. He must have used the confusion of the crowd to escape.
You stand in the realm of gods now. It is time you spoke with your resolve. If it is strong enough, then you will find me.
Find you? But you just said there's no ambushings. But here you are ambushings, within the midst of the crowd. The honor guard draws their swords, as Halen's laughter fills the room.
And if it is not, then you will perish. So do it. Show me the determination of your rebellion. Speak against your gods and see how they answer.
Shame on you. How dare you rebel against the gods? It's time out time. Get in the corner. At Halen's command, the honor guard charges in our direction. Sovi and Ulrich are the first to fight, making sure that I'm protected. But I make sure to play my part, part the slaying. I take down some with similar ease. The suits of armor stand no chance against the blade of Exodus. The same could be said of Ulrich's greatsword and Sovi's fists. I'm confident on our victory, but I try not to get too cocky. It seems like there was almost 1,000 suits of armor here. I know it's for the story, but where is this armor coming from? That's a lot of iron or metal or whatever's. Though we were doing good now, our bodies could easily weaken. A viable tactic: wear out your enemy with excessive numbers. As we fight, we find ourselves surrounded more and more. The honor guard seems to have almost herded us into a specific location. I stand back to back with Sovi and Ulrich, and we're all panting heavily.
Ulrich, put away your sword.
Huh?
Don't you remember?
They both look at me.
Yeah, of course.
He sheathes his massive blade as suits of armor come close on us.
Monarch, open your mind to us. Treat us as extensions of your body.
I'm confused, but I nod. We need to take action, and now. I lunge forward and destroy one of the suits.
Good. Now it's my turn.
Then the blade moves from my hands to Sovi's. He does the same as me and destroys several suits. As if passing a baton, Ulrich is up next, swinging the blade.
It's been too long, Sovi.
Then, almost instantaneous, it's back in my hands. I keep fighting. We're pressed back to back, exchanging the blade with our power. Phasing it from person to person as needed. We're almost one mind.
Yes, really gets my blood boiling.
As if it's an intricately there we go. As if it's an intricately great, another word. Choreographed dance. We continue to fight. In this moment, we really did command the blade. We were its owners. I feel unstoppable. But then I realize, could the Triumvirate do this as well? Oh, crap. If they could, then we're all in a difficult fight.
Over here!
I let Ulrich take the blade, and we continue passing it around. It isn't much longer until the horde is thinned out. We're winning! This is true teamwork, unlike anything I've ever unlike anything I've ever seen in my life.
Monarch, look out!
I take the blade back and destroy suits of armor in front of me. Woohoo! The numbers have easily halved in just a few short minutes. At this rate, we'd be free to take the stairs at any second.
They mean to kill us with mindless slaves. I wish they had the courage to meet us face to face.
Look up, maybe. He's probably hanging above us. The Triumvirate must have been scared. I could feel it. In the end, all tyrants have left... Hold on. Sneeze? Okay, it came and went. In the end, all tyrants have left to do is cower. All tyrants have left to do is cower in fright. Whatever game they were playing, it would soon be over. We continue our dance until the last suit of armor is fallen. Though we're reduced to exhausted masses, we had won. Taking deep breaths, we tried to regain our composure.
So, up we go?
Yeah.
I phase the blade back in my hands and sheath it. Looking towards the stairs, it seems our next goal is clear. When we get up there, we'd make him regret taunting us. Yeah, you see that? We took them all out. Whew. And now you're not... Yeah, and I'm not exhausted, you are. That was your plan? I thought of much. Gosh dang it. We make our way upstairs in pursuit of Halen. After what just happened, I was certain we'd win this. Without our strength combined, nothing could stand in our way. With our strength combined. With, not without. There was no out in there. Ooh. Is that fire? Is that like the Fire Lord's throne from Avatar Last Airbending? The first thing I see is stairs. A lot of stairs. They lead upwards, as stairs normally do. And in every conceivable direction, even down, which could be up to another person. I know I was told there'd be a lot of stairs. But this is insane! The second thing I notice is the compelling lack of Halen. The complete lack of Halen. There's no Halen to be seen, just stairs. Unless Halen became stairs. Then we'd be walking all over him. He had fled up the staircase? What could he be? Up the staircase? Yeah. Actually, I'm starting to wonder how he disappeared like that. If he was made from the blade, could he phase around as well? What? Oh, he faded into the crowd and now he's in my hand. Oh no, he's siphoning the souls of all them slain ones that we've been doing. Gosh dang, Tucker, we've been helping them all along. Maybe. I hope that it's not the case. That would prove far too tricky. However,
Dang it, Jans, I told you you'd be back.
However, due to his loyalty, I knew we'd be in for a fight. Destroyed suits of armor and their swords lying on the floor. This must have been the remnant of a previous fight. Perhaps 14 or Pro came here before us.
Be careful, Monarch. Try not to let Halen steal the blade from you. Remember, we all possess the same ability.
Yeah, make sure to be on your guard. We killed his suit, so he's probably scared. I wouldn't be surprised if he resorts to trickery.
On your guard or honor guard? Yeah. I nod. That was good advice. I take it to heart as we walk towards the stairs. We hear Halen's voice. We can't see him at all. I look at my blade. There's a smirk shimmering in the blade's reflection. Gosh dang it, I knew it.
Well then, perhaps you're stronger than I thought. No matter though. I've been waiting for a worthy opponent. I'll savor killing you, Monarch. Every single moment.
That's when we finally see him. On one of the many flights of stairs. Oh, okay. I thought he was speaking from the blade. He's slowly making his way down. Almost as if he's buying some time. I move to meet him halfway. But suddenly, there's no need to move at all.
Monarch, look out!
Uh-oh! Almost instinctively, I lower myself as close to the ground as possible. From behind, a massive sword is swung. It comes close to removing my head. I turn around, greeting the sight of Halen. So he can move around like that?
Saved by your friends, as always. I wonder how you'd handle things on your own.
Not well.
What do you say? Want to put that to the test?
Hey, you have teleporting abilities. That's not cool. Ulrich steps forward, interrupting before I can respond.
We don't have time for your games, Halen. We will give you one chance. Surrender or die.
And who says you get to call the shots? Remember, I exist to manifest the Triumvirate's will, and right now, what they want is to see you all dead.
Halen draws another sword, holding out 2 large blades.
I've never let them down, and I don't plan on starting. You think you're special? That you're here to seize your destiny? No. You're nothing more than another insect for me to crush.
Why do insects need to be crushed? I mean, sure, they're numerous and all, but... You know, I'm not a big full-on fan of insects, but in Pokemon, they're one of my favorites.
You may have made it farther than most, but it doesn't matter. Even atop the highest mountain, an insect is still an insect. A being that exists for one purpose. To be exterminated!
Hold on a second. I know you have rage build up, but that's not true. Lots of insects, like bees, can help with the flowers and the environment. They spread the pollen, they make things grow, I know you're anxious, but hold on. Anxious? Yeah. And ants. I'm not sure. Do they help? I don't know. But bees definitely help. He charges towards me, and I do the same. Oh yeah, bring it on. I was just telling my audience that not all insects are bad. Spiders, I know people don't like spiders, but spiders, they help get rid of insects. Pulling out the blade of Exodus, our swords clash as we meet. They also make good Halloween decorations. You see how many people admire the webs that they even make cotton ones? Heck, just let a spider roam your house and start making the webs, and boom, your Halloween decorations are complete. Complete with mummies. Very tiny ones. They meet again, and again, the echo filling the room as we fight. His strength is astounding, as well as his speed. I've never, ever, not even once, not even these guys, no. I've never seen a man fight with 2 swords quite so gracefully. He tries to trick me with fake swings and sudden movements. but he'll have to try harder than that. I count on him with ease. His dance continues, and we show no signs of tiring out. Don't mind that one. I was just taking a big breath. At this rate, death would come to whoever slipped up first. But I can't slip up. I have to win and take down the triumvirate. This world belongs to me. No one but, well, actually everybody and me, but they want me to be the ruler. But anyways, I was the rightful heir to the throne. As to what people keep telling me, Halen was just a lackey for some power-hungry group of 3. Wasn't it 4 one time? I know it's triumvirate for the 3, which I was told it was 4, but I don't know. Maybe they didn't like their brother. If there was justice in the world, then I would prevail. Perhaps I let that get to my head, and this allows Halen to land a blow. Ah! Gosh dang it. Thrusting his blade in my shoulder, he twists it. Ah! That pulls it out. Gosh dang it! It was a wound that would prove to be harmless in the long run. Okay. But my shoulder just got pierced and then opened up. Why? Because of a twist of a blade. That's not harmless right there. But the pain is so intense. All I can do is stand here, stiff and motionless. I read this as sniff for a moment, so I sniffed. Whoops. Sniffed and emotionless. My blood drips to the floor, and I take a few steps back, losing balance.
Monarch!
What? So he lunges the sword and pierces me to the... I read that wrong. Sovi lunges forward and pushes me to the ground, phasing the blade into his hands and blocks Halen's next attack. I bleed on the floor as I watch Sovi fight his former apprentice.
There's something different about you, Sovi. Where was this passion when we worked together?
Swords continue to clash as Halen is and Halen is right. I've never seen Sovi quite as determined.
The triumvirate doesn't allow passion, Halen. They take everything away. They bleed you dry and offer nothing in return. Nothing but empty words. The rebellion gave me a place in this world. I belong to them now.
You mean they seduced you with flights of fancy? You honestly believe that he is our rightful ruler?
Sovi nods.
Without a doubt. I'd give my life for the monarch. I know the truth of the spirit realm. The triumvirate told me. This isn't some dream or fantasy. They told me themselves.
Halen seems surprised, as if he still trusts Sovi.
You mean?
Yes, that's what they told me before we left from Azeo. It's why I didn't kill the monarch when I had the chance. I told myself I'd never harm those in charge of this world. That's what separates the both of us, Halen. My loyalty is to Alestia. Yours is to the triumvirate. They made you a slave, with no choice but to obey.
No, I want to serve them. Your faith was challenged, and you gave up. I'm not that weak. I stand tall, and remain in line.
Sovi lowers his blade, signaling his intent to stop fighting.
Then let the monarch remove the curse they've put on you. If you still want to serve them, then we can continue to fight. And if not, then you'll realize that you were wrong all along.
Halen reacts with anger to that last part, and charges towards Sovi. They're still fighting again. There's no still in there, but fine. Just when things started to turn around.
No, I'm not wrong. I'll never give up, Sovi. Never. If you want to pay with your life, then I'll accept that toll. But know this. It brings me no pleasure to...
And that moment later, Sovi thrusts the blade through Halen's gut. Ooh. Sovi looks horrified as he harms his former apprentice and friend. No turning back. This was the exact moment his defection was complete.
Sovi.
Halen grunts in pain as Sylvie removes the blade. A horrific wound, but I don't think it would be enough. Created from the blade, Halen was surely resilient.
Halen, I'm sorry. I didn't want it to be this way.
I can hear such sadness in his voice. He's conflicted. Looking down at the floor, Sylvie shakes as he watches Halen bleed out. A moment later, he falls forward and Sylvie catches him in his arms. On the verge of tears, Sylvie turns Halen around. Lowering him to the ground, he puts him on a strong chokehold. Halen struggles, trying to escape, but the wound rendered him too weak.
Monarch, do something! I don't care what it is, just do it!
I look over at Ulrich, and he watches in shock. I know that wound wouldn't kill Halen, just temporarily incapacitate him. Sophie must have known, but the sight and what he did is still too much for him. There's no way Halen could fight back right now. I could kill him with no difficulty at all, but I could also save him. If I removed the curse from his mind, maybe he'd serve our cause instead. But was that worth the risk? Something tells me I don't have much time to decide. If Sophie held him like that for too long, he'd be dead for sure. Liberate. Because it didn't say kill, so liberate means help. I had to liberate Halen. I had to let him survive and give him a chance. If he still chose to oppose us, then we could execute him after the war. But as long as his conversion was a possibility, I had to take a chance. I tell Sylvie to release the chokehold, but hold Halen in place. He obeys without hesitation, and I slowly make my way over to him. Pressing the blade against Halen's chest, I ask it to give him freedom. A few seconds later, Halen falls to the ground unconscious. I have him carried over to a safe spot, where he could recover in silence. If and when he woke up, I hope that it would be as a new, smarter man. With that out of the way, we had to make our way to those stairs. Within a few more minutes, I'd be face to face with our enemy. It was time to rise to the challenge and change this world.
You know what? I'll stay behind. Pro and Fortum should be at the atrium any minute now. I want to make sure I'm there to greet them and fill them in.
All right.
Are you sure?
Yeah. It's not my place to face the Triumvirate. Not again. This fight belongs to the both of you. So go and see it through.
We both nod at him as he makes his way back to the atrium. On his way out, he picks up a sword from the ground. Sophie scoffs. He does the same thing soon after.
A good idea, actually. Something tells me we'll be fighting even more. Say, can you do me one favor before we head up?
What's that? Sure.
Here. Just trust me.
He reaches behind me and adjusts my scabbard. I'm not sure why, but he switches it to the other side. I'm not left-handed, so that's only made things awkward. But I choose to trust him.
Thank you.
And a second later, we're making our way to the stairs. All we had to do was dethrone the Triumvirate. Simple enough. After that, I'd meet my friends in the atrium. At least, the ones that survived. Liberty or death is the achievement. Shing, 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 shing. I fight you with my sword. Dominic fights for his life in the town square, surrounded by suits of armor. He's lost sight of all his allies, and is unable to tell if they're even still alive. Still, he fights on. He'd never give up, Not when he's so close to the end. That bell would surely ring any minute and bring an end to the war. If the monarch followed through, then his world belonged to them. Then this world belonged... Oh, okay. This world would belong to them. Okay. This is the fact that kept him fighting, even as his hope was lost. Fatigue started to settle in, making him move slower. As suits of armor fell, so did his strength and resolve. He was surrounded, fighting in every direction.
Come on, 14, we can't hold the town square forever.
And just then, an arrow pierces through his shoulder. He stumbles back and falls to his knees before pushing it out. This pain was minuscule compared to what he felt back in Mizeo. Rising up, he starts to fight with anger, as well as determination. In a rage, he takes down the suits of armor even faster than before. Another arrow pierces his upper body, but nothing could stop him now. Keeping an arrow in, he grabs another sword that lay on the ground. Fighting with two of them, he's able to guard himself more efficiently. His suits of armor are arriving faster than they can kill him, however. Soon enough, he was surrounded by more suits than he could hope to kill. With no allies around him to come to his aid, he knew that things were dire. If Fortain didn't ring that bell, then this could very well be his final stand. He throws a second sword to the ground and takes a deep breath. Reaching into one of his pockets, he pulls out a glimmering pendant. He grips it tight, as if it was more important to him than his weapon.
I guess this is it.
His fighting starts to become more desperate, as tears blur his vision. The fact that he couldn't see any of his friends, just hurt him even more. He had to assume that everybody around him has fallen during battle.
Stay back! I'm warning you!
He held out a sword, as if to threaten. His hands trembles. The honor guard did not heed his warning, and they close in on him. Having no choice but to continue fighting, he lets out laboring grunts. Though his through his blurred vision, he's almost unable to make out anything. His saving grace is the contrast of the white suits over Balteus's decay. Using that as a guide, he's able to keep taking down his enemies. He tries fighting his way in the direction of the archers. Those were more of a threat to him than the suits with swords. In fact, he was certain that those archers had killed quite a few men. And unfortunately, he may be the next one added to their count. An arrow is shot through his gut, and he screams, falling back. Not a grievous wound, but he is immediately caught off guard. Come on, arrows do quite a bit of damage, I'm sure. Something smashes into the back of his head, and he collapses. Turning around, he sees a suit holding a rock covered in his blood. An open wound to the back of his head starts staining the ground.
What?
He writhes on the ground in pain and confusion. The suit kneels down and grabs a sword from the ground. It was the same one that Dominic had discarded moments earlier. His surprise to see that the rest of the honor guard stands down, as if they acknowledge this one had deserved to deal the final blow. Dominic cries, looking up in the honor guard, in the horror as the suit raises up the sword. But before they could follow through with the thrust, something happens. An arrow pierces through the suit of armor and it crumbles to the ground. Dominic looks around in confusion. Had an ally come to his aid?
Dominic, give me your hand!
Oh my goodness. Shane! Dominic cries out softly, not sure what's going on. Last time he saw Shane, he tried to kill him, and basically succeeded. But here he was now, offering his hand. What's happening?
Dominic, quick! You don't have much time.
Dominic shakes his head, but then realizes he has no other option. Grabbing Shane's hand, he accepts the help and raises to his feet. He stumbles forward, almost falling back down. But he doesn't. He presses his back against the Shane. He presses his back against the Shane, still a bit delirious. But his friends support him as he draws a set of daggers. Confusion assails Dominic as everything is happening so fast.
There. We're even now.
Dominic nods.
So what do you say, Dominic? Fight? Just like old times?
Dominic nods again and raises his sword. A moment later, they both charge towards the suit of armor. Like a team, and like friends, they fight together once more.
Just keep it up, Dominic. I'll patch you up as soon as we're safe.
Shane, talk to me. Why are you doing this?
But Shane doesn't answer. At least not before the bell is rung. A loud ringing fills the air, delivering the sound of hope to Dominic's ears. Fortame has achieved his goal. That means his allies still lived. Dominic goes to keep fighting, but Shane holds him back.
Dominic, no! Look! It's over.
The honor guard turns to stare at the source of the ringing. Then they throw their swords to the ground without hesitation. Starting to march away, they abandon all their previous efforts.
We did it. I can't believe this.
Without a word, Shane just stands there along with Dominic. Together, as the ashes rain down upon them, they watch their foes flee. Dominic smiles, a few tears running down his face. Was it all really over? No. That wasn't the right way to look at it. Things had just begun. The monarch had to finish it all. Dominic looked in the direction of the castle as hope rises within him.
Monarch, good luck. We're all counting on you.
The town square is soon devoid of all foes. But now, without obstructed vision, Dominic can see all his allies. They raise their swords in the air and start cheering. Balteus was theirs. And soon, the lives of the triumvirate would be theirs as well. They cheer the monarch's name, and then that's all Dominic can hear. But that's all he needed to hear, for the name of the monarch meant hope. Is that fluffy staircase or is that clouds? The ringing of the bell echoes in my ears. It's almost deafening. I'm relieved to know that Fortame survived and succeeded. Me and Sylvie stand in darkness, and it's hard to see.
Here, you'll be needing this.
He hands me a torch that hung against the wall.
And watch your step as we go up those stairs. If you fall off the edge, well, you know how high we are.
I nod. The thought filled me with fright. I hold the torch and see a bizarre sight before me. I was wondering if it was I don't know. I'm trying to read words. The wall is lined with gears, just like those on the blade. They spin and rotate in directions that they shouldn't. It makes no sense to me, but then again, neither does the blade. The gear on the blade spun in a way that was physically impossible. Fog lines the stairs leading to the triumvirate's chambers. I was confident a moment ago, but this sight fills me with unease. Stop yelling. I'd never seen anything like it, and it's very concerning to me. I couldn't see off the edge of the stairs. and there was no railing. The slightest stumble could send me back to send me back down to the atrium. I do need to back there. I need to go back there, but that's not the way to do it.
I have one piece of advice for you, Monarch. Don't let them talk to you. Just kill them with no question. All they'll do is try to justify their actions and earn your sympathy.
No problem.
They prey on the minds of the weak, of those that they can mold. I know you're strong, but they just have this way of convincing you. I'd hate to see that happen to you. So remember, kill them all.
I tell him that I don't care what they say to me. I'm here to kill them. They could speak to me all they wished. They accomplished nothing. An easy goal to have in mind. But in practice, I guess I had no idea. I had to find out, however. Someone steps out of the room ahead of us. As they move toward us, I see the white and gold of their cloak. One of them left their chambers? I thought they don't do that.
Sylvie, you've returned. Were we not clear enough? A permanent exile is non-negotiable.
But you said...
He turns to them and motions as if he's pleading.
You said I could come back if I brought the blade. Is this not what you wanted? Was it not a test?
The triumvir looked down at both of us and sighs.
You think that you can fool us so easily? We know where your allegiance lies, Sylvie. There is nothing in this world we cannot see.
Sylvie gritted his teeth. I could tell he was angry. I'm confused, but I trust him. I knew he was on my side. At least, that's what I thought. Everything changes in an instant.
Everything I did for you. Were you really too foolish to realize that? My attempt to help the rebellion was only an act.
What?
I've brought the enemy and the blade to your doorstep. Even after this, you deny me my redemption.
I immediately try to run, but Sylvie grabs my left arm. No, wait, no, I don't want this. As much as I struggle, it's no use. He's too strong. I'm filled with fright. How can he do this?
You've done nothing but bring an armed enemy into our home. Your judgment is clouded, Sylvie. We decline your offer.
No!
A second after, Sylvie phases the blade into his hands. Then, much to my regret, he slices through my arm with ease. I scream, and then, from the elbow down, almost nothing remains.
Then take this as an offering. That arm will never again be used against you. Before all of us, the monarch is defenseless.
I don't feel anything. Almost as if my body numbed itself from the trauma. But the sight is all too real. My lower arm, limp and dead on the floor. Blood spurts from the wound, and I look at Sylvie in disbelief. He makes eye contact with me and looks at the torch. I'm still gripping it tightly, and that's when things make sense. He was trying to fool them? I still have use of my good arm. I slump against the wall and use the torch to burn the wound shut. A disgusting smell fills the air, and I hear cracking and sizzling. This is all I can do while I watch Sylvie ascend the stairs with the blade.
You continue to surprise us, Sylvie. Very well. Let us talk.
The triumvir looks down at my scabbard. They definitely believe Sylvie removed my dominant arm. I don't know why any of this happens, but I let it all unfold. I trust him.
Thank you, Master. I am sorry for letting you down in the past. I can only hope that this offering is enough to please you.
He continues to walk up the stairs, slowly, as if somewhat scared. If I were him, I wouldn't want to make any sudden movements either. The triumvirate had the advantage here. All we could do is try our best.
Remove threats to ensure the continued reign of Alestia's leaders. Is that not what you wanted? Is that not the role of the Grand Inquisitor?
As he speaks, he reaches the top of the stairs and faces his master. The triumvirate lets out another loud sigh, and proceeds to nod a few times. By now, I'm almost coherent again, and the wound bleeds no more, burnt shut.
You are right. Kneel, Sylvie, and pledge your loyalty. Then, turn that blade on the monarch and take his soul. That's all we need. The blade and the power inside him.
Sylvie immediately drops the blade to his side and kneels down. It hits the ground with a loud metallic clang, then rests there, motionless.
Yes, whatever you say, I will continue to serve. As the Grand Inquisitor, I have only one goal. Removing threats to the throne of Alestia.
I see what he did here. He didn't lie. This is the kind of thing I would say. I don't lie. But you won't know the full-on truth. I'm not trying to, I don't like lying. But if something is necessary, I might have to lie. But I'd like to keep the words in a twisted form to make you feel like I'm saying what you want to hear. I'm not trying to deceive. Literally, I don't. It's just, that's my form of lying. I don't lie. So you have to try to decipher. Only if it's necessary. He trembles, frightened, as the triumvirate nods.
And I shall start with you.
A moment later, the blade disappears from the ground, but it doesn't return to Sylvie's hands, or even mine. It phases directly through the chest of the triumvirate.
Sylvie!
He raises to his feet and grips the handle of the blade. I can see tears streaming from his eyes, sad at what he's done. He's shaking, as if he almost refuses to believe that this is real.
I hate that you're making me do this. I hate the man that you've made me become.
Sylvie.
And a moment later, he pulls out the blade. Then, with a harsh kick, the triumvirate flies off the edge. I can hear them screaming as they fall, and the screams fade. Sylvie drops the blade, and then drops back down to his knees. I start walking up the stairs, shocked at what I just saw. One of them was dead? Now only two more remain. The duumvirate?
Monarch, take the blade and go. End this foolish war. Please.
I summon the blade back to my hand and walk up the stairs. I stop as I arrive beside him, but he simply shakes his head. I consider placing my hand on his shoulder, but it's no use. It's not there. I mean, I could have patted you on the back with my not-so-dominant arm, but you kind of took that from me, so... And the blade's already in my right hand, so I have no hand to pat you on the back. Sorry.
Just go.
With a sigh of regret, I realize that there's nothing I can do. I wouldn't even have time to chastise him. I decide to enter the chambers. His cries fill my ears, and despite with each step I take towards the end, either the end of the triumvirate or the end of myself. That was some deep stuff. When I enter their chambers, it looks just like I remember it. I've even been here before. I've had visions of standing in this very spot. In those visions, I remember walking toward the idol in the back. I can feel the blade respond to this room, but not sure why. It's not moving or anything. It's just a feeling deep in my gut. Oh wait, there's an arrow in there. Sorry. As I go grab the blade, I hear a loud voice call out to me.
Stop!
No. Then out of nowhere, I see two cloaks appear by the idol. One of them stays in place, and the other walks towards me. The one at the back was surely my target, and their leader.
Do not draw that blade unless you intend to use it. That idol will respond to your aggression and fight back. We will not harm you. We brought you here for another reason.
No. Let that be. No, don't listen. I know I was not to let them speak, but I'm curious. Assuming a neutral stance, I asked them to explain themselves.
That is a tall order, Monarch.
I noticed they used my proper title. Proper? Like, people gave that to me, so I'm just, In this moment, there was no room left for doubt. Everything Howell had told us about the Triumvirate was true. They don't speak. They just stand there in silence. If I had anything to ask them, I guess now would be the time to do it. However, earlier warnings echoed in my ears. Warning against letting them speak. He said don't let him speak. That was enough talk. No talk. No, that's enough talk. No talk is enough talk. I came here to kill him, and that's what I do. No matter what they say, they couldn't talk themselves free. They hurt my world. My friends. I would make them suffer.
The mind can suffer when stuck in the same time and place. History repeating itself can be far more than maddening. We try to break free from the cycle, but only perish.
This member of the Triumvirate is talking so differently. The one back in the previous room had almost a completely different story. If being caught in a cycle could drive them mad, I had to wonder which one was mad.
This is why we will not stop you if you wish to kill us. That blade has kept us alive long enough to see things through. Our final rest would only be a sign that we have finally won. So go ahead, kill me, and kill my master. Turn that blade on the idol, and see what happens. See if you can free everybody from its wrath. Not just us, or Alestia, but all worlds, and all people. If you are not strong enough, then the cycle will just start anew. Before you know it, you may be facing us here once more.
I think I know what they're meaning. If you didn't become pure peaceful, or something like that, then maybe. We'll see how this works. Maybe you have to be a balance. Because, as you can see, I'm 50, 40. And our morale is still 60%, and we're at the end. So, I'm wondering if this is meaning that it's playing on the Undertale kind of thing. You're meant to restart or die and restart, and termination continues on. And this one, it's a story of if you fail to destroy the idol, it means you went down the wrong path. You have to start the story over again until you get the right path, and that way you can actually destroy the thing. So I feel like I might. 'Cause I'm wondering what the percent chance of, or what it had to be in order to destroy the idol. We'll see if I have to be 50-50 or something like that. Anyways.
But know that we are not your enemy. All we've done to...
I'm sick of hearing it. I'm sick of this weak justification. I phase the blade into my hand and thrust it through the chest. I feel kinda bad, but this is what the thing said to do. I didn't get to hear what you said. Nah, dang it. But like I was warned before, the idol responds to my aggression. The room is engulfed in a blinding darkness. It must be the idol. The blade usually causes a white light. I feel immense warmth around me and hear a cracking of flame. The darkness fades and the entire room is engulfed in fire. The triumvir stands before me, bleeding and crying. These were no gods, just weak, arrogant people.
Very well.
I turn left and face the flames, forcefully taking them with me. Holding them there with the blade, tempted to absorb their soul. But no. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve the satisfaction. I pull the blade out and watch the wound ooze blood. Oh gosh, this is just not what I want. I grab them by the cloak and pull them close to me. In their final moments, I curse them and condemn them. And I push them back into the idol's flames. This is sounding like my guys got corrupted already. Holy crap, I'm 50-50, so this is supposed to be the corrupted side. I hear them scream and writhe as they slowly burn alive. This is just sounding really freaking not me. In my opinion, they deserve to be punished far worse than that. No, man, I don't know, maybe. Now, just one more to go. As I turn back to face the idol, the final triumvir stands before me. I hold the blade towards me, showing my intent to kill. That was my goal. Kill the triumvirate, destroy the idol.
Stop! Think about what you're doing. Everything we've done in the name of freedom.
They get down on their knees and look up at me.
Normally, I'd send you back to start the cycle anew. But now, your strength surpasses mine. This must be the end. I beg for your mercy. Let me live to see what I fought for.
Without hesitation, I swing the blade and cut off their head. They fall to the ground and blood stains the white of their cloak. I'm not sure what to believe, as they all had something different to say. Perhaps they meant to use that doubt as a weapon when I got there. I throw away that nonsense and stick to the goal I originally had. I feel like I'm corrupted. With them out of the way, it was time to destroy that idol for good. I take a step forward, and my body is assaulted with pain. I can tell that the idol is fighting back, and I fall to my knees. The flames are so hot that I feel as though I'm melting away too. But no, something else is happening. It's not just the flames. The idol is trying to kill me, but I'm not the only one here. Inside of me is the monarchy, billions of spirits wanting to help. It's almost as if they're shielding me, sacrificing themselves for me. I stand up and take another step forward. The pain is even worse. I fall to my hands and knees and cry in agony. It's too much. This is music, singing. My vision blurs, but after a while, things return to normal. The thought of pain has gone away. I start to feel weaker and weaker. I know that the souls inside of me are giving their lives for this. If I can get to the idol and attack it, I might be able to win. That was a big maybe, but there was one thing I knew for sure. I might not live through this, and there was no other option. Every step I took could easily be my last. The determination rises with me, and I take another step forward. My body is racked with pain, and it's almost impossible to walk. I use the blade as a makeshift cane, as a voice sounds in my head.
You can do this, Monarch. Don't give up.
I'm not sure what I just heard, since nobody's actually around me. In these chambers, it would seem that time and space actually acted normally. With another step, I grip my teeth. It feels like I'm being torn apart.
Keep on moving! We didn't come this far just to lose now!
As the souls exit my body to shield me, I get noticeably weaker. I tremble with every step, trying as hard as I can to keep myself standing. My comrades call out to me and urge me to keep moving. I start to cry.
I guess I'm no longer the strongest member of the rebellion. I'm proud of you, Monarch. You saw this through to the bitter end.
With another step, I fall right to the ground. I lay there crying and squirming in pain. My grip on the blade tightens as I shake.
Is this really how you want your story to be told? Get up, Monarch! Get up and finish what you started!
I use the blade to support and try to rise to my feet. This is taking so much of me. Would I have enough power to the end? Hoping with every fiber of my being that I do, I take another step forward.
I knew there was something special about you. Ever since the start. You brought us all together and unified us. You made us a family.
I smile, a stark contrast to the tears streaming down my face. With another step, I'm almost facing the idol. I couldn't do this alone. The voices of my comrades and the souls inside of me carry me forward.
So, everything has led to this. The monarchy is no more, but you can still live. Make it through this, and give Alestia the future it deserves.
I take one more step and ready the blade. As soon as I thrust it into the idol, things would be over. But as the power within me is dwindled, I realize one thing. No matter what happens next, the blade would be destroyed. But if I wanted to get rid of the idol for good, then I would perish as well. In order to live and see another day, I'd have to hold back just a bit. But if I did that, then there's a chance the idol might not be fully defeated. It could come back in the future, to corrupt and decay another innocent world. Was keeping my life worth condemning other worlds to suffer like we did? I thrust my blade into the idol and activate it. The blinding white light follows. This was the end. The blade, in mere moments, would enact my final will. I just have to ask myself, what would that final will be? Destroy the idol for good. I couldn't spare myself if it meant that the other worlds would be hurt. It would be selfish. Even though I wanted to live, I knew I couldn't. As soon as we set sail, I knew that this would be the end for me. But even though I knew it was a possibility, I still didn't want to believe it. I was only fooling myself, thinking that I could live to see what I fought for. I denied the triumvirate of that right, and now I could deny it to myself as well. I guess it didn't matter. Now, I can feel myself fading away. I commanded the blade to use all the power it can, including that of my life. No matter what happened to me, I could rest knowing one simple fact. Alestia had been given the future that it deserves. In the hands of the people, they were free to live as they pleased. As everything fades away, I wonder what future might bring my allies.